Hey guys, it's Benedictines the vegan. Today it's very cold and I'm not wearing anything warm. So I guess I gotta warm up by walking first. Guess I gotta move first to warm up. Yesterday I was thinking a lot about nihilism. So I asked myself, am I a nihilist? Am I a nihilist? I talk a lot about how meaningless life is, how meaningless everything is. I talk a lot about how bad things are in the world and why we must not even have children because of how messed up everything is. So am I not a nihilist? What I've realized is that I'm not really a nihilist. I'm a realist. I'm very interested in the truth. Unlike most people, I am very interested in the truth. Since I was young, I've been very interested in the truth. When I ask people questions and they give me answers that are not satisfying, I'll continue to ask them more questions. I want to know what's really going on. I'm really interested in the truth. A lot of people are not interested in the truth. They're interested in what works. Our society has inherited a very bad way of thinking, a very bad way of viewing reality, a very limited way of viewing reality. People don't really see things as they are. They see things in a way that's going to benefit them. You see, they're not really interested in the truth. What they're interested in is how they are going to benefit. We're so selfish that we're not really interested in the truth. That is why we don't treat each other very well. That's why we're not fair. We only choose to see reality in a way that's going to benefit us, in a way that's going to make us believe that we are the good guys. There are so many people that we have wronged in our lives, but we don't believe that we have wronged them because we don't really see things as the way as they are. We see things in a way that's going to benefit us. That's why people are able to justify anything. Is it selfish? But I think differently. I question everything. And that's how I get to the truth. The problem is that the truth is wicked. The truth is wicked. So when I speak the truth, people think that I'm a nihilist. No, I'm not a nihilist. The problem is that the truth itself is wicked. The problem is that what we believe the truth to be is not what it really is. See, things are not what they seem. That's the problem. I'd suggest that you watch any of my videos. You realize that I don't focus on the negative things that are happening in the world. What I do is try to explain what is really going on. I talk about things that everyone can see, and I try to explain what's really going on. I try to break things down in a way that many people are unable to see. I try to open your eyes. Here's the thing. So you realize, the world is evil. The problem is that everything has been presented as if it's good. You see? Everything has been presented as if it's good. And because we have inherited a limited way of thinking, we're unable to see when things that are being presented as if they are good are evil. Is it a problem? That is why it's not easy for many people to realize that having children is evil. People are being praised for having children. People are being worshipped for having children. So they think, no, having children is good. They never really think about the implications of having children. They never ask themselves, what am I really doing when I bring a child into this world? They don't ask themselves that question. Do you understand that you are bringing a sentient being into a world that they didn't ask to be brought into? And in this world, they are supposed to do certain things that they might not necessarily want to do, but they are forced by society to do these things. They are forced by society to be a certain way. In order to survive in this world, they gotta do these things. And if they don't do these things, they are going to suffer. So they would rather suffer by doing these things, because doing things that you might not necessarily want to do is suffering. So you kind of choose your own suffering. Like, well, if I don't work, and I'm going to be broke, and people are not going to want to be around me. I won't be able to afford the things that I want. So I'd rather work. I'd rather work, even though I don't want to work. Some people tell themselves that, I don't want to work, fuck it. But they still suffer, because if you don't work, you're not going to have the things that you want. You won't have money, and you need money to afford the things that you want. You see? So, tell me, why do you think that it's a good idea to create a new person and put them in this system? It's obvious that that's not a good idea. It's very, very obvious. The problem is that you have inherited a very limited way of thinking. You see? You have inherited a very limited way of thinking. So you don't realize what the truth is. You only realize what you need to realize in order to feel good about yourself, in order to feel good about society. You don't see what's hidden behind everything. You see? You only see what society wants you to see. So that's why many people are unable to see that having children is actually wrong. That is why many people are unable to see that this world itself is fucked up. Something is wrong. Something is not right. If you are unable to see that this world is evil, then you won't be able to see that having children is evil. You will see a lot of horrible things happening to people and believe that these things that are happening to them are happening to them because something went wrong. These things that are happening to them are not happening to them because something is wrong. These things that are happening to them are happening to them because something went wrong. That's what we'd like to believe, right? When bad things happen, we like to think that, well, the world itself is not evil. Life is good. Something just went wrong and we need to fix it. We don't realize that, actually the truth is that the world itself is wrong. Life itself is wrong. We are in an evil world. That is why these evil things are happening. These evil things are not happening because something went wrong. These evil things are happening because life itself is wrong. And we know that life itself is wrong when we look at how everything works. Like how nature works. The fact that sex is so enjoyable should make you stop and actually think. Sex is so damn enjoyable that it's so hard for people to be celibate. It is so hard. And when people have sex, there's a chance that they can bring more people here. Don't you think that if this world was good, having children would be something that we would need to think about without nature forcing us to have sex and reproduce, When you're having sex as a guy, when you're just starting, like when you put your dick inside a vagina and you're just starting to thrust, you're not gonna feel a lot of pleasure, right? But as you're about to come, you're gonna feel a lot of pressure. I remember one of our science teachers used to say, when I was in high school, there's this other teacher that taught us life sciences, not science, not real science, life science. I mean science as well. So yeah, he used to tell us that, if you're still a virgin, you're missing out. You don't know what it's like to actually ejaculate. If people caught you having sex when you're about to ejaculate, even if they had guns, you would not pull out. You just ejaculate. You'll deal with the problems after. You'll be like, you know what, fuck everything. I'd rather die for pussy. This reminds me of this other scene from, what's the name of this movie, man? What is the name of this movie? It's funny. One of the characters said, I'll die for pussy. No questions asked. But it's crazy that nature forces us to reproduce. We're not supposed to think. Isn't it crazy that people are not having children because they first think about the implications of having children? They don't even ask themselves how that child's life is going to be. What does it even mean to create a new person? They don't even ask themselves that question. And that's a really important question. They just have sex and reproduce. Animals just have sex and reproduce. Animals can't even think like us. Dogs just have sex and reproduce. They don't even really know what they're doing. It's not like they know that if they have sex, they're gonna have offsprings. I don't think they have any idea what they're doing. It's just that nature is so powerful. It's making people reproduce. That is why if you do not think, you're gonna find yourself making a lot of mistakes. People don't realize that we're in some kind of a trap. And in order to escape, we need to think. We cannot think in a way that works against us. We need to think much more deeply. That's when we realize what the truth is. We're living a lie because we don't think as deeply as we should. There's a reason why people who are in a cult don't even realize that when they're in a cult, that they're in a cult. Like, they don't even realize it. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are in different cults. They don't even realize that, they are in a cult. You wanna know why? Because they do not think. It's easier for people that are not in a cult to see that, oh yeah, that those people are in a cult. That is why when you watch videos with pictures that show us what's going on in the world, sometimes we even feel like crying. You see a picture of rats entering a train. You're like, but that's fucked up. That's us. That's because you are able to see the world from a different perspective. It's much harder for you to see the truth because it's like the truth is outside of you. You can't see everything that's going on because you are distracted. It wouldn't be easy for a rat in a rat race to see that it's in some kind of a rat race, it's in some kind of a sick game. It wouldn't be that easy, it would just be in a race. But when you step outside for a moment and try to look at how everything works, you realize how sick the world is. You realize how sick the games that we are playing are. So I'm not a nihilist. I'm a realist. I tell you what the truth is. You can pick any of my videos, you realize that I'm just speaking the truth. I'm not even talking about the negative things that are happening in the world. I rarely mention the negative things that are happening in the world. In South Africa, people are getting kidnapped. I've never seen this happen before. Like, people do get kidnapped, but this year people have been getting kidnapped a lot. It's crazy. People have been getting stabbed a lot. It's crazy. Just this week alone, there's a lady that got killed by a boyfriend. They were both in a university student. I forgot the name of the university they were attending in, but they were both university students. I think the lady didn't want to continue the relationship that she had with this other guy, so he stabbed her. And some people were there, like they witnessed the whole thing. Someone was recording a video and there were people there witnessing the whole thing, but they couldn't really do much. There's another dude that killed his co-worker. I don't know why, but he killed his co-worker and ate his intestine in front of people. People were just standing there because people are cowards. They didn't know what to do in front of other people. There's this other video that I saw today. There's a video of some lady that stabbed someone in a tavern. It's like she went there with the intention of stabbing that person. Just stab that person and make sure that that person dies. Stab that person multiple times. Like, there are a lot of horrible things that are happening in the world. But I don't even talk about these things. I just try to explain to you what is actually wrong with the world. See, people stabbing each other isn't really what's wrong with the world. That's just symptoms, you know. People killing each other isn't really what's wrong with the world. People being at war ain't really what's wrong with the world. These are just symptoms, you know. People living in poverty, people being greedy, that's not really what's wrong with the world. These are symptoms. There's something that is wrong with the world. And the negative things that are happening are just symptoms. Antinatalism is attempting to solve the problem that's causing everything. We are bringing people here without their consent. People who didn't tell us that they want to come and participate in this game. And we have convinced ourselves that, oh, that is good. That is good. It's good. Maybe maybe life is good to you, right? Let's put it that way, but it doesn't mean that it's good to everyone else. Life isn't the same for everyone. Life isn't the same for everyone. You must know that there are people that are doing much worse than you're doing. Each and every person that's watching this video, there are people that are doing worse than you're doing. Like, life can get worse than it is right now. And there isn't much that you can do to avoid finding yourself in a worse situation than you are in. You know, life is so unpredictable. People are so unpredictable. You know, people can do things that are going to put you in a situation that's much more fucked up than the situation that you are in right now. And you can't control other people. Yeah, you can be a good person, but someone decides to come and fucking stab you, and you never like really recover and suffer because of that. Suffer your whole life because of that. Someone can decide to shoot you and you never really recover and suffer because of that. Like, there are a lot of things that can happen. That's the thing. There are a lot of things that can happen. Things that we cannot really control. We're not in control. It's like there's something else that's in control, but we're not really in control. So you see, the real problem is that we're bringing people here without their consent, even though we know that there are a lot of horrible things that can happen to them. Sometimes I do ask myself, how do parents feel when their children are really suffering? Like, how do you feel as a parent if you bring a child into this world and that child ends up suffering? I mean, it's 100% your fault that they're suffering because you brought them into this world. It wouldn't be their fault that they're suffering. Because there isn't a person that wants to suffer. In fact, our behavior is motivated by our desperate need to escape suffering. We want to escape suffering. We don't want to suffer. So if you have a child and your child is suffering, that's your fault, because you brought them into this world and you knew very well that it's possible that they can suffer. And some people think that I'm an internationalist because I'm so broke and I'm suffering, I'm so miserable. No, man, I'm doing better than a lot of people who are having kids, So I'm so depressed and so angry and so sad and nothing is going well. No, that's not true at all. It's just that I'm interested in the truth, just like I've been telling you. I'm really interested in what is true. And I know beyond any reasonable doubt that if I brought a child into this world, that child would suffer and it wouldn't be their fault. And there is a big chance that they actually end up blaming me. The chances are, if I'm going to bring a child into this world, that child is going to be conscious. I mean, yeah, there's a very big chance of that. I would make sure that they get exposed to the right information. So of course they'll become conscious and end up looking at me like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you bring me here? Look at all these things that are going on. Look at all these things that I have to do now. And what you must understand is that the reason why I'm not having children is not because there's suffering in the world. Because some people just think, well, I'm just against suffering, people shouldn't suffer. No, what I'm really against is people being brought into this world without their consent. Because if they're suffering and they don't even want to suffer, and they didn't even consent to being born, then it's my fault. You see? And that's obvious. If I bring a child into this world and that child suffers even though they didn't even choose to suffer, that's my fault, 100%. It's not their fault that they're suffering, it will be my fault. So I refuse to do that to another person. Yes, there is a chance that if I bring a child into this world, that child is actually going to enjoy life more than I've enjoyed it. There's this big chance of that. I mean, I probably would be, I probably would be a good parent, Who knows? But yeah, there is a chance that I'll be a good parent, and because of that, I would raise my children very well, and they'll, end up enjoying this experience. There's a chance of that. I don't mean there's a chance of me having children. I mean that if I had children, there will be a chance of me being able to raise them right, and they actually enjoy this human experience because of how I raised them. But I also know that there's a chance that I would fail. And that's the problem. It's a gamble. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what would happen if I had children. That's the thing. I don't know. I do not have the power to see into the future. And on top of everything, I do not know what this world is. You see the problem? I do not know what this world is. And that is a big problem. The fact that we do not know what this world really is. Not knowing what this world is actually keeps me up at night. No, not knowing what's going on really keeps me up at night. Because I'm a very curious person. Every night when I go to sleep, I'll be asking myself very deep questions about the nature of reality. I like to listen to people talking about the nature of reality, but most of the time I just pause my phone and I just pause the video. I'll play a video of someone talking about maybe the nature of reality or the nature of consciousness, or talking about their near-death experience. But then usually I would pause the phone before I would pause the video before it even plays for that long and start thinking and fall asleep, because I'm really interested in what the truth is. I'm really that curious. We are having this crazy experience that we're having, and we don't really know why we're having this crazy experience. We don't really know what's going on. And that's concerning. The fact that we don't know what's going on is very concerning. The fact that we don't know what happens when people die, that's concerning. The fact that we don't know where we really come from, that's concerning. The fact that we don't know if aliens exist, that's concerning. I mean, we've seen a lot of evidence of aliens' existence, but anything is possible. Anything is possible. We could be living in a simulation. What you must realize is that there is evidence to support any theory. We could be in a cosmic prison. There's a lot of evidence to support that. Gnostics believe that this world was a prison. Gnostics believe that this world was a prison, and when you look at how things actually work, you realize that it's actually logical to believe that we might be in some kind of a prison. Because there's something that doesn't really seem right. Ole ole. There's something about this world that doesn't seem right. There's something that seems a bit off. Why is it that we know nothing? Wouldn't it be better to know what is going on? Wouldn't that make life more interesting if we knew exactly what's going on? If this was a simulation and we knew this was a simulation? We don't know what's going on, and there are many people that are truly suffering. There are many people that truly wish they were never born. There are many people that actually wish that they can live, but they don't know how to, and they're scared because they don't know what happens after death. They don't know if there's life after death. They don't know if they don't find themselves in a place that's much worse than this. They don't know if they don't reincarnate back here. We don't know what's going on. And that is the truth. That's not me being a nihilist. That's me speaking the truth. It is also true that life is meaningless. But I tell people that, the fact that life is meaningless is good. That's a good thing. Can you imagine if life wasn't meaningless? Can you imagine if life wasn't meaningless? That would mean that there are some things that we need to do. But now we're free to do anything because life comes with no instructions. There isn't anything that we have to do. You don't have to do anything. You can just live your life the way that you want to live your life because everything is meaningless. There's nothing that's really important. Just don't have kids, because if you don't have kids, they're not going to come here and experience this life and experience the meaninglessness of life. But really, you can do anything here, because it's not like the universe is watching you and it wants you to live your life a certain way. Nah, you can just live your life the way that you want to live your life, because life has no meaning. So that's really a good thing, because you don't really have to do anything. Imagine having to do imagine having to do things that you do not want because life has meaning. Because there's something that you must do because life has meaning. I mean, there would need to be something that you need to do if life had meaning. Imagine if the meaning of life was to, like, find out what the right religion is and following that religion. It would be like playing a very sick game, you know what I mean? Like trying to figure out what is the truth while you're suffering. That wouldn't be good. So the fact that life has no meaning is really a good thing. That's not nihilism, that's truth. So I consider myself a realist. I don't really consider myself a nihilist. Those many people might perceive me as a nihilist. I don't have a problem with that, because I love nihilists. I think, once you start seeing how reality really works, it's very easy for you to become a nihilist. But I'm not really a nihilist, I'm a realist. I'm very interested in what is true. Knowing what the truth is heals me. I stress a lot when I do not know what the truth is. Even when I'm dating someone, I need to know if they've done something that I might not like. They need to tell me. Like, I'm so interested in the truth. Like, knowing the truth really heals me, even if it's a truth that's supposed to hurt me. Like, my girlfriend can cheat with my best friend, but knowing, if I can get to know that, I'll be at peace than if I just suspect that happened. It's crazy. I want to know the truth. I don't want to stress, asking myself what the truth is. No, I really want to know what the truth is. Truth heals me. The problem is that the truth is wicked. That's the problem. A lot of people are afraid to see the truth because they might not like it. See, they're afraid to think deeply because they know that they might find out things that they might not like. Many people just want to continue with their lives doing what they're doing without really questioning anything, because there's a part of them that knows that the truth might really be wicked. We don't live in a world that is good, but that's presented as if it's bad. We live in a world that is bad, but that's presented as if it's good. So the more you try to find out what the truth is, the more you realize how evil the world is. Well, everything seems fine when you look at how everything is working. Everything seems fine. If before you are born, someone who is not conscious explain to you what really happens in this world, you think everything is fine. I wanna be in that world. But if someone who's conscious explains to you what's really happening in this world, you'll be like, no fucking way. People that are not conscious will tell you, well, in this world, when you grow up, you're gonna find a person that's gonna love you, and you will get married to them, and if you treat them right, they're going to love you more, and you guys will be happy. You know what I mean? Like, there's a person that's not conscious, they're too optimistic, and and you gotta believe in God, so that God will protect you from the devil. God is more powerful than the devil, blah 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 blah. The truth is, but they won't tell you that, hey, if you're a man, if you're going to be a man, then you gotta have money, and it's not that easy to make money. There are lots of men that are poor, lots of men that are jobless, lots of men that are homeless, and no one loves them, no one wants to be with them. They're gonna tell you that. They just make it seem as if everything is fine, and the people that end up being homeless are just people that are lazy. They'll say, oh, if you don't work, if you don't pray, you're gonna end up suffering a lot. You might even end up homeless. You might end up getting sick. But if a person that's conscious explains to you what's going on, you see that, nah, man, the world itself is just evil. People don't get sick because they do not. People don't get sick because they do not pray. People don't end up poor because they don't work hard. People don't end up homeless because they do not work hard. They do not pray, or they are not doing things right. No, it has nothing to do with that. A lot of people don't see this world for like what it really is. And these people are dangerous. They're so ignorant. They make a lot of mistakes because they're ignorant. They'll have children, even if they do not even have money to take care of their children. They don't understand that people are competing in this world. No one gives a fuck about your child. If you are a broke piece of shit, no one is gonna feel for your child. No one is gonna be like, you know what? Let me save up some money for that child, so that when that child maybe goes to college, they're gonna have money. Nah. No one is gonna be like, oh, every child deserves to have opportunities in this world. So just because this child does not have parents, the child is homeless, I'm gonna take care of that child. Like, it doesn't work that way. There are a lot of children that are living in the street right now. Every time when I go to town, there's gonna be kids that are gonna ask me for money. Like, yo, can you give me 2 rand? 2 rand is like 50 cents. Like, can you give me 2 rand? I want to buy bread. Children that don't even have shoes, because some idiots brought them into this world, even though they didn't have money. You have to understand what it really means to create a person. It's like if you wanted someone to like fight in the UFC, for example, and you didn't train them. He didn't train them, and he just put them in the octagon against Islam Makhachev. Oh, fight with him. What the fuck? Having children when you have nothing is like that. You don't realize that life is competition. People are competing here. Life is brutal. It's not like we are in heaven here, We're in a concrete jungle. We're fighting for survival. So it's important that your children get a good head start. It's important that you train your children right. You give them everything that they need so that they'll be able to compete in this world. If you don't give them the things that they need, they won't be able to compete effectively. So they're going to end up suffering because of you. You see the problem? Islam Makhachev trained for MMA since he was like 9. There's a reason why him and Khabib became champions. It's because they trained since they were very, very young. No one is beating Islam Makhachev right now. I heard guys seem invisible when he's in the octagon. No one's beating that guy. No one was able to beat Khabib. No one was able to make Khabib bleed. We have never seen Khabib bleed, and he fought 29 opponents that were really good. His streak in the UFC is one of the highest. I think he fought 13 times in the UFC and never lost. And he's never really lost a round in the UFC when you really think about it. I mean, people can say he lost a round to Conor, but come on. You can say that he lost a round to Justin Gaethje. No, he didn't. That guy is a beast. He trained since he was young, and he was trained by the best. No one's going to be able to compete with him. So there are some people in this world that had everything because their parents knew what's really going on. They were like, you know what? Yeah, the world is fucking horrible. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to give my children a good head start. But some people think, oh, it's a good idea to just bring their children here. No, you're just bringing them here to suffer because it's going to be hard for them to win. And even if they win, they will still get taken advantage of. And some of them will have to do a lot of things that are illegal to win. I remember JayZ said something interesting in his God Did verse. He said something like he sold drugs, but he was able to quit with a clean record, something like that. A lot of people think that, oh, someone like JayZ just made it. He's just talented and he just made. Like, no, there are a lot of fucked up things that people have to do to succeed. He had to do a lot of fucked up shit to succeed. 50 Cent had to do a lot of fucked up shit to succeed. There ain't that many people that just succeed. And if you are like super talented, there will be a lot of people that are going to take advantage of you. Record labels that are going to take advantage of you. Because you're like too talented. There are a few people that are like really that talented. That happens. But it doesn't mean that you're gonna have a great life. There are a lot of people that are really famous right now that are miserable, more miserable than people that are broke and that are known. You must realize that everything is a trap. And there are very few people that are truly enjoying their lives, and there are very few people that would actually want to experience their lives the way that they've experienced their lives. I mean, ask yourself this question: would you want to live your life backwards? Would you want to experience everything that you've experienced? One of the biggest reasons why you keep on going is because you have hope. You think that life will get better, right? Like, I've suffered, but things might work out in the end. I might end up having the things that I want. Some people keep on going because there are a lot of people that have hurt them, and they want to prove these people wrong, and that's why they keep on going. They want to prove their enemies wrong. They want to prove the people that have hurt them wrong. Oh, that person left me when I needed them the most. I need to prove them wrong. I need to show them that I'm more than what they think I am. That's what keeps them going. Some people just feel like they have a lot to prove. They're not even pushing because they really want to push. They're only pushing because they want to prove something. So we mustn't lie to ourselves. We're not having a good experience, man. This world is evil, and we are living a lie. We're lying to ourselves. It's better to be a realist so that you won't make many mistakes. I don't think not having a child is a mistake. I think it's one of the best decisions. In fact, this is the best decision that I've ever made, after realizing what's going on. And I'm really happy that I was able to realize what's going on. I'm really happy that I've experienced life the way that I've experienced it because I was able to realize what I've realized, especially if there's no coming back here, I'm happy that I was able to wake up so that I won't bring more people into this trap. There's nothing beautiful about having to go to school, getting trained to work, and not really enjoy your life, Like, ain't we supposed to enjoy this experience? Kids don't even get to enjoy their lives because they're getting brainwashed, and we think that's good, They know what they want to do. They want to have fun. They don't want to work and work and work. We don't have to work in order to survive. It's not like by working so hard we're making our lives better. It's not like by working very hard we're making our lives better. That's not the truth. We're working very hard just because we're slaves. We're being used by people that are really rich. They want to have more power, so they're using us. We're the ones that are working hard for them. Because we want to be able to survive. We want to be able to buy a house, buy a car, buy clothes. So they make our lives hard by making us compete against one another. You think people would want to compete like that? Compete like for survival like that? When I was growing up, we didn't really compete where I live, like for survival. We did compete in other ways, but we didn't compete for survival. We helped one another. When I was growing up, people here help one another, man. It's like we're all equal. We helped one another. And even now, we still do help one another, If you don't have food, it's easy for you to get food somewhere. You can go to your neighbor and say, "Yo, I don't have food," and they'll give you food. Like, it's normal. But when I was young, like, we used to help each other a lot. Even like if you're building a house, for example, people will come and help you build your house without expecting anything in return. We'll help each other like that as people. But things are changing, because of these fucking rich motherfuckers that want us to compete. It gets to a point where we don't even help each other for free. Like, oh, if I help this person, what the fuck am I going to get in return? But we weren't really like that when we were growing up. We liked having fun, We liked having fun, man. Right now we're prisoners. And motherfuckers are too stupid to even see that. They think life is easier now. No, life is much harder now. We're prisoners now. And things ain't getting better because technology is improving. And we can't really keep up. We can't even keep up with AI. So things are gonna become worse for humanity. We get to a point where if you sleep, you're gonna have to pay for it in some way. We'll get to a point where we'll need to take pills so that we don't fall asleep, because we'll need to keep on working. No? They'll tell us that no, you can't even sleep. You need to be working 24 hours a day, straight up. If you don't work 24 hours a day, you're not going to be able to survive. But here's what's crazy. Motherfuckers will still be reproducing. Isn't that concerning though? People will still be reproducing even if we had to work 24 hours in order to survive. Because people don't really question anything. They've inherited a way of thinking that's effective, you know. They don't ask themselves like the biggest questions. It's crazy that people wake up every day and go to work instead of having fun. And they think that that's right, you know, that's good. Like, I'm working for my children. What the fuck? I didn't even have to have children in the first place. So, okay, your children are gonna continue the fucking cycle, right? They're gonna have to work like slaves and tell themselves that, oh, I'm working for my children so that they'll have a fucking better future. What the fuck is wrong with people, man? You don't realize that this is a sick game that we're playing? And you're trying to justify this game using religion. Oh, God knows what he's doing. No, there is no God. You've been lied to. You don't understand how evil this world is. You don't understand that there are people that want you to remain so ignorant that they actually decided to lie to you. Isn't it obvious that there is no, I mean, let me not say there is no God, but I mean, the God that we've been told about doesn't exist. Isn't that obvious? Isn't that obvious? I mean, no one has seen this nigga. No one has heard from this nigga. Our technology has improved a lot. If this nigga wanted us to know about him, wouldn't he appear, on TV and be like, yo, man, I'm here. You motherfuckers have been fucking up a lot. You need to change. I mean, back then we'd understand, okay, there was no technology. There was no way for him to be in many places at once. But now you can just create a YouTube channel and prove to us that it's God. You know what I mean? He can write a book. He can do anything, man. But this motherfucker is not appearing now. He decided to remain hidden so that we'll fight and fight and fight about his existence. Isn't that stupid when you think about it? But people still want to believe that this guy exists. And some people are going to go to hell because they don't believe that he exists. Don't you understand that you're being manipulated, though? Don't you understand that it's not even like a very complex form of manipulation, really? It's not like they're really doing much to like manipulate y'all. It's obvious that you're being manipulated. They cannot say to you that you must follow their God, otherwise you're going to go to hell where you're going to burn for eternity. That's manipulation. That's blackmail. And you still want to worship this God. I mean, that should be a red flag. The fact that he's going to send people to hell who don't believe in him should be a red flag. You see, he's not going to send people to hell because they're horrible, they're walking around raping people, killing people. No, he's going to send them to hell simply because they don't fucking believe in him. And there's no evidence, like real evidence for his existence. It's just some people who wrote the book about, not even one book, like different books about him. You know, the stories are not even like really that consistent. And there are other books that were written that were not even included in the Bible, including Gnostic Gospels, you know. And in the Gnostic Gospel, it's been written that this God is actually evil, and really, if it really did exist, it would be evil, which is something that's obvious, but people want to lie to themselves, man. They're too weak, really. I'm not a nihilist, I'm a realist. I'm very interested in the truth, and I just told you the truth. Thank you all, guys.